On this edition of Fulton Law and Justice, she's Fulton's first ever female sharpshooter. We're on the range with Deputy LaShira Norwood, and we'll hear from her boss how she has changed the sheriff's office forever. And in our restorative justice segment, a look at the 2018 National Crime Victims' Rights Week. I'm Douglas Bell, and Fulton Law and Justice starts right after the break. Stay with us. Welcome to Fulton Law and Justice, your inside look at the work of Fulton's justice partners. We begin with a historic first for the Fulton County Sheriff's Office. Fulton's sharpest shooter becomes the first female sniper and SWAT operator. We're talking about Deputy LaShira Norwood, who has proved to be the best of the best in her class. Before we meet the deputy, let's talk to Lieutenant Colonel Sean Jones, commander of the Fulton County Sheriff's Office Law Enforcement Division, who is excited that she is on his team. Colonel, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Colonel Jones, tell us why it's so critical to have someone with Deputy Norwood's skills on your team.
Well, there's really multiple reasons for that. You never know when you're going to have an active shooter situation in the county, and we need to be prepared to respond to that. We have a lot of personal protection details that take place throughout the county and throughout the year, and some of those encounters could have potential individuals who want to cause harm to members of the public.
How will you utilize her skills as a sniper?
Well, again, anytime there's a personal protection detail, march, parade, president coming to town, situations of that nature, hostage situations, she will be activated during those times.
I can tell you are very proud of Deputy Norwood. Tell us about why she is such a special asset to your team.
Well, number one, she's a female. She's the first female to do this for our SWAT team. So, we're happy about that as a sheriff's agency. And just having that skill set, being prepared in the event of that emergency, she has the capability of helping us to resolve that really quickly.
Are you recruiting?
We have a recruitment coming up in June of this year. We have other female candidates that have put in to become members of the SWAT team. You have to be a SWAT team member first before you can move to the sniper team. But we do have other females who are trying out to become SWAT team members.
How does Deputy Norwood's rise to sniper fit in with your plans as commander of the Law Enforcement Division?
Well, great question. Really want giving everybody an opportunity to excel, whether you're male, female, regardless of who you are. Having a very diverse force is what we really seek to achieve.
Final thoughts, Colonel?
Yeah, absolutely. I think she's going to be a huge asset for the county. She's smart, she's very intelligent. I feel that when she's called upon to perform her job, she's going to be able to do it and do it to represent the county in a great way.
Lieutenant Colonel Jones with the Fulton County Sheriff's Department, thank you for joining us.
And thank you for having me.
And when we come back, we will meet Fulton's first female sharpshooter. So what makes a woman with a master's degree in public health, who was also a student athlete in volleyball, track, and cheerleading, become not only a part of law enforcement, but also become Fulton's first female sharpshooter? We'll ask her. Deputy LaShira Norwood holds all of these distinctions. Deputy, welcome to Fulton Law and Justice.
Thank you for having me.
Tell us, how did you become interested in being a sniper?
Once I first got on the SWAT team, I draw interest to shooting guns. So my sergeant, Fair, he kind of introduced me to the sniper rifle. Once I shot it the first time, I loved it. So I continued to practice, and that's how it got me here.
I understand that you were the top performer in your sniper class recently. Tell us more about that.
It was a lot going on. I mean, we did different challenges and different skills just to see where we are at. And during that time, I was able to pretty much perform to the highest of my ability. And they pretty much recognized that and acknowledged that.
How do you maintain your focus, or how do you prepare for training or an assignment?
Constantly train. Only on my days off, or anytime I have some practice time or even free time, I'm here at the range. I'm actually bugging my sergeant to actually come out here to help me every chance he gets. So constantly training, constantly staying on my craft.
What's it like being the only woman on the sheriff's SWAT team?
It's pretty much normal for me. I am the only girl of two older guys or older brothers, so it's pretty much normal. It's like family, so they treat me like a little sister and very overprotective, so it's pretty good.
Why is this achievement important to you?
It's definitely important. I'm able to be a role model for women, women and young women at that. They're able to see something different than what they see on TV. They're able to see somebody that works hard, that's dedicated, and that's focused. I'm not going outside the box to be known. I actually worked hard, and that's something that they can follow and be happy to follow.
What do you say to other women or young girls to dispel the myths of being able to serve in this kind of role?
Don't fall into the stereotype of women is stuck in a box. We are created to stand out. We are created to be challenged every day and to work to the best of our potential. It's only up to us to actually dig deep inside and bring that out. If you can, stay focused on yourself and continue to work hard, then other people will see that too.
Deputy Norwood, you are an inspiration. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
We'll be right back with a look at National Crime Victims' Rights Week. Each spring, the nation pauses to bring attention to a disturbing but real issue in various communities: the issue of crime and its impact on victims. National Crime Victims' Rights Week happens each April, and it's the focus of this edition of Restorative Justice.
Welcome back to Restorative Justice. I'm your Solicitor General, Keith Gamage. The Solicitor General's office prosecutes traffic and misdemeanor offenses such as domestic violence, theft, and DUI. Crime statistics show that victims in our country and in our county experience more than 5 million violent crimes and nearly 15 million property victimizations a year. Part of our mission is to provide smart, fair, and restorative justice to Fulton citizens while protecting our public. Each April, we celebrate National Crime Victims' Rights Week. The theme for 2018, Expand the Circle, Reach All Victims. In today's segment, we will meet the newest team of dedicated victim advocates in Fulton and learn how we support and serve victims of crime while commemorating our very special mission to help crime victims through local events. We'll also discuss how we work alongside organizations and within communities to reach all victims, or as we believe, survivors of crime. We're joined now by the Victim Assistance Unit within the Fulton County Solicitor General's office and Director, Marla Patterson. Welcome to the show, Marla and team.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Marla, please tell us what the Victim Advocate Division of the Solicitor General's office is engaged in for the community.
Currently, we have 9 victim advocates through the Solicitor General's office. We currently work with community resource providers such as Partnerships Against Domestic Violence, Safe Families. These are organizations that can assist our victims with some of the needs that they need while they're pursuing their case through the criminal justice system.
And what service do you find that victims in Fulton County are most in need of?
I kind of think it depends on the victim and what their situation is when they come through the court system. We have a lot of victims that are in need of counseling services, and so a lot of our community providers are able to assist our victims with that. We have some victims that are in need of housing assistance, so we work with Partnerships Against Domestic Violence. They're able to easily identify shelters for the victims or offer them opportunities for other housing options.
And I see you have Ms. Kenya Burke with you.
Yes.
Ms. Burke, what is a day in the life of a victim advocate like?
It consists of working with victims, reaching out to them, providing them with information regarding the criminal justice process, walking them through that process. We really become part of their family, helping them through the process, through the criminal justice process, also linking them, like Ms. Patterson said, to different resources that are in the community that can help them through this process and then beyond the process as well. So it varies. Every day is not the same day. Every victim is not the same victim. And every situation we handle as far as it relates to the crime is different.
Well, I know that you all are passionate about the work that you do.
We are.
What is it that motivates you to get up day by day and have to deal with what I know must be very stressful, emotional issues as you're servicing very often those folks who have been abused, taken advantage of, often by folks who are closest to them?
For me to know that I can give someone the opportunity to have the voice that they've never had, that's what motivates me to get up every day to come to work and do the best that I can do.
I can see, Ms. Burke, that you are becoming emotional just thinking about it. Thank you all for your service. Mr. Purcell, how are you today, sir?
I'm good, thank you for having
Good.
me.
And so you're one of the newest additions to the Victim Services Department. Is there a special sort of set of experiences that you think you bring or perspective as being a male in a unit where often it is women who are victims of crime, often at the hands of their male loved ones?
Good question. I think I bring a unique skill set to the team because my background is psychiatric counseling as well as counseling in general. So with that being said, we've already had cases that had a couple of victims that suffered from some type of psychosis. And by me having that background, that was added addition for me with the team to let them know that this particular victim does suffer from a particular psychosis, and they're taking certain psychotropic meds as well. So I bring that unique perspective and prism from my background of counseling to the team.
The work that you all do is critically important. Ms. Patterson, as the supervisor of victim services, are there some special duties that you have that others may not?
Yes, I think as the Director of Victim Services for the Solicitor's Office, I'm responsible for making sure that that all the victims of crime all their needs, or most of their needs, are at least assessed, and we try to meet all of their needs by making sure that they're referred to the appropriate community providers. We want to focus on making sure that the victims are able to survive the criminal justice process and improve their lives, have their lives improve as they move past this crisis. So I think as the director, I want to make sure that my advocates are trained appropriately, that they feel comfortable and comfortable in their duties, and that they have the resources necessary to do their job well.
Ms. Burke, can you recall an experience with a victim that impacted you in your life such that you still call attention to it?
Yes, I have a case where the victim, her and the offender, they were dating for some time, lived together. He was arrested for becoming physical with her. While he was arrested, she was able to get a temporary protective order, and actually I assisted her in moving to another state. Well, after he got out of jail, he went to the same state that she was in, and I was the first person she called. And so I was able to link her with services down there, and I still communicate with her to this day. Just to touch in to continue to build that relationship with her so she'll know that I am someone that she can trust. Even though I linked her with services there, I built that relationship with her where she feels comfortable enough to come to me to share certain things that she may not share with the providers that are working with her in Florida, although they are doing a great job there. But I started from the beginning. She knows I know her history, everything that's going on. And so that case really sticks out to me because I definitely want to make sure she's safe. I want to make sure she has the resources, and I want to make sure she knows that our office, we're here for her and any services that she may need.
So in the Solicitor General's office, we prosecute misdemeanors. A lot of our cases, of course, are cases involving domestic violence. Are there some special challenges, Ms. Patterson, to prosecuting cases involving intimate partner abuse?
Yes, there are some special challenges to prosecuting those cases. Oftentimes the victims that come in on domestic violence charges, they don't even recognize that they've been involved in a serious crime. There's often times where they minimize, although they're hurt. And
when you say minimize, what do you mean?
Minimize, where they don't take the offense quite as serious. It's something that they've been dealing with for a while. They called the police to have the police remove the offender because they were scared at the time, but they don't necessarily want anything to happen to the person in reference to prosecution of a case. They oftentimes don't understand that their safety is at jeopardy if we don't pursue prosecution with this defendant. So they're often not, they're also very confused about the whole criminal justice process. So our advocates play a really big role in helping them become more comfortable, helping them to understand each hearing, each process for that, and linking them to the prosecutors who will be helping them pursue charges and ensuring that they're going to be safe out in the community.
And so in Fulton County, do we have shelter or other care services available for people who need to flee or leave these abusive relationships?
Absolutely. We have several domestic violence shelters in the Atlanta area or Fulton County area, really in Georgia. So if there's a need for a victim to get some type of shelter, and particularly shelter at a distance away from the defendant, we can help arrange that. So there are options for them.
And Mr. Purcell, what would you tell folks who might be viewing the show and in a relationship where they're being abused?
I would definitely tell them that there's help. They can get help. You know, it's not like back in the day when, you know, a woman was afraid to tell someone because she didn't think she had somewhere to go. But now, we're in the 21st century, you have officers like the Victim Witness Advocate Office that falls up under the Solicitor General's Office of Fulton County, that they can reach out to us, or we can reach out to them. If a case comes to our office, call them via telephone or cell phone, and let them know that they can come to the office and we can meet with them. And we can provide the services that they need to provide, and as well as prosecuting the case, you know, taking it, you know, further.
Ms. Patterson, National Crime Victims Week is in April,
Yes, sir.
where we pause to acknowledge survivors and be certain to support those in need. What can you tell us about the projects that the Solicitor General's Office is engaged in for National Crime Victims Week?
Setting up informational tables and having advocates on site so that people can ask us questions in reference to what type of rights the victims of crimes have, what type of services the Solicitor's Office can offer, and what type of resources are out in the community. We work in partnership with the DA's office and with the U.S. Attorney's Office, and we've established a walk and a balloon release event, symbolic of our efforts to reach all victims. Again, we want to honor the theme of expand the circle, reach all victims, and our balloon release event symbolize our outreach to all victims of crime.
Thank you all so much. You all are heroes. Thank you for your dedicated service. Often the public doesn't know or is not exposed to the great work that you do. So thank you so very much, and thank you for being on the show here today.
Thank you for having us.
As you've heard today, restorative justice comes in many forms, including assisting the survivors of crime through the trauma they've endured. It is through the help of national and local organizations and advocacy groups, as well as the survivors themselves, that help to train and empower victim advocates to be a soothing, helpful voice during rough times. As we close, we invite you to join us on our website and social media. Be sure to sign up to receive the Gamage Report, our quarterly newsletter. For Restorative Justice, I'm Solicitor General Keith Gamage. Until next time, please be safe.
Thank you, Solicitor. We'll be right back. Fulton County has committed itself to serving its residents in 6 priority areas. The strategic goal for Fulton's Justice Partners is making sure that all people are safe. On Fulton Law and Justice, we show you how Fulton's law enforcement and justice partners are doing that every day in how they serve and in the programs they provide to enhance the lives of all people, young and old. Well, we hope you've enjoyed this edition of Fulton Law and Justice. I'm Douglas Bell. We'll see you next time.